Does my smile confuse you? Or remind you you're here?
Okay, boy, I'm really pissed off, but I'm still going to introduce the show. Does my smile confuse you? And that's why my smile confuses people. Everybody's smile confuses people because when you're pissed off sometimes inside, especially in sports, especially with your wife or your girlfriend, guys, girls, smile on the outside when you're burning up on the inside. Okay, so I'm really pissed off, but you're never gonna know it. I am gonna smile through this entire show because you know why? My fiance, my girlfriend slash fiance, she came down on me 5 minutes prior to doing the show
She came
because we
down.
didn't know. She didn't go down on me. She came down on me. There's a big difference. So we were deciding what we're going to do, and I always like to have a title for the show. So we're doing a show on superstitions. So very superstitious. The writing on the wall. Okay, the writing is on the wall. So Dimitri, the lovely Lady G, better known as Gail, and Rain, who might jump in tonight in this show because she actually is superstitious. I would like to declare before you tell your story, I am not superstitious at all. And then I'll tell you about actors and athletes, because I know so many, how superstitious they are. Go. It's you're up.
So my story of superstition started growing up in Greece, and oh my God, if there is one country, one race, a culture that is extremely superstitious are the Greeks. The evil eye. You go back to the antiquity. The Greek ships, when they would go into battle, they would paint these apotropaic eyes into their ships.
Well, hold on. Let's don't rush through this.
Apotropaic.
Pink eyes. Is that to protect them?
They will paint the apotropaic eyes. These beautiful eyes. Apotropaic is you push away the evil eye. You push away people that envy you.
What I want to explain.
So starting Greek antiquity, you would see it on the ships. You would see it on the Greek vases. You would see it everywhere. But it was not the Greeks. It was the Phoenicians that started this. Back to 1800 BC, they would have these beautiful glass beads made out of eyes. So the Phoenicians started it first, then they went to the Greeks. And that's why all these cultures are so superstitious. So I grew up being superstitious, doing certain prayers. Don't do this day, don't do that day, but I'm going to tell you real fast my story. On the less than dozen times in my life where catastrophic events happened, sickness, diagnosis, separations, this and that. The next day, I would just burn literally the fucking clothes I was wearing the day that something bad happened.
What?
I would never wear these clothes.
No, come on.
And G knows here, something really bad happened a few months ago. I've never worn these boots, this belt, these pants, this shirt. Everything is gone. Insanity, but now I would leave it back to you to speak your mind.
No, but I mean, this is amazing. Is all of Europe like that?
Greece is like that.
Well, Greece, wait, Italy.
The Italians are like that too.
Okay, well, here's the question. I mean, and I'm being serious. People think, you can't believe how naive I am in certain areas. And I'm going to tell you something right now, how ignorant I am. I'm ignorant about geography. I'm ignorant about, I can't believe people believe this shit about superstitions.
But it's in the Bible. It's in the Greek.
It goes all the way, of course.
It's in the Greek Orthodox religion. It's called Vaskania. Vaskania means somebody gives you the eye, somebody envies you, and horrible things happen to you because it's jealousy, it's because they want what you have.
Wow.
And there is even a Greek prayer to take the Vaskania and the evil eye out. No, it's not funny. It's in the religion.
Okay,
please.
so what is the correlation, do you think, between superstition and religion? It's got to be
They're very close because they're both made out of humans.
That's what I mean.
Humans
It's
wrote
got
it
to
out.
be. They have to be virtually connected.
And it's so amazing because I'll tell you a quick story. About 35 years ago, I was in Plaka, Old Athens, with my ex-wife at that time, who she looked gorgeous, and my older brother, and we're in a little cafe, a little taverna, and there was a guy playing the bouzouki, like amazing, and we were drinking ouzo, okay? So we're sitting there at this beautiful table, the sun was hitting our eyes, and it was just, we're getting, you drink ouzo at noon, it's game over,
You
right?
started getting, I started at
And there
noon.
is this man that's walking on the street, and he sits standing, and he was looking at my ex-wife, and I'm looking at my brother, and I said, shit. The guy that was playing the guitar, he said, shit. And then a minute later, literally, my ex-wife her head goes down on the table, and she passes out.
From the Uzu or Ozo?
No,
or
from the guy
Ozo
looking at her and
no,
giving
I
her the
mean
evil
blue.
eye. So the guy that's playing the guitar runs and says,
Wait, what? From the evil eye?
the evil eye. The guy is giving her the evil eye. The
and
Vascania.
she's hot.
No, she's hot. Yeah, she's very beautiful. So
Yeah.
she goes down,
I didn't
and then
mean-
the guy that plays the bouzouki comes out. He does a little prayer, this and that. And in Greece, sometimes you wear the evil on the babies when the babies are born. You put a little evil eye, the blue eye, and you put it on their clothes. This way, when people come in your house, say, "What a beautiful baby!" So they don't give them the evil eye, so they don't get sick. So it's a tradition, it's a culture, it's the reality, and it's also the placebo effect. Like my mother,
Well, that I believe.
before she died, she knew the prayer. So I would be in the United States, and every time I had a headache or something, I would call my mom, and she would say, "Okay, let me do the prayer," and they would put drops of oil into the water, and if the oil drop surface, that means that really somebody put the evil eye. Regardless, 10, 15 minutes later, I would feel fine.
Well, hold on. Now, is this a placebo effect that you were feeling? Because
it's not
a
only-
drop of water is not going to.
It's not only a placebo effect. I think there is I'm very convinced that there is a spirituality. There is a part of religion. There is a part of spirituality. There's a part of saying, because that person is doing this prayer, or my priest, or the person that performing this, it puts some positive energy and it pushes away. That's why the word apotropaic, it pushes away the
What does
envious
that word
eyes.
mean?
Apotropaic is you push away the evil eye. You push away the people that want something bad to happen to you. And it's funny, in the Greek culture, you get the evil eye from especially women that they have green or blue eyes. You're learning so
Really?
much tonight. Yes.
Oh, this is
So
unbelievable.
it's a whole culture. Again, as I said, it's believed in the Greek Orthodox Church. And here's the last thing I'm going to talk, because tonight I'm talking too much. It's time for you to talk.
No, I want you to talk.
The
No,
prayer that my mother did, she got it from a woman that was ready to die. So when somebody, knock on wood, is ready to die, they pass that prayer to the person they want to in secret. And then my mother passed that prayer to my twin brother in secret before he died. So whoever has that prayer, they do not mention it or reveal it to anybody else. But they do have the power through the words of the prayer to heal in any way you want. It can be a reality, it can be a manifesto, it can be a spirituality, it can be the universe, or it can be the placebo effect.
No, actually, I want you to keep talking more, because everybody says, because I'm trying to establish something, and sometimes the guests I have, because a lot of them are afraid to speak, as I was establishing, something that's very unique, that comic sense is more important than common sense, which I didn't say in the beginning. And it pertains to, does my smile confuse you? Because when I'm listening and looking and thinking with most people, just like you're telling me now, you're absolutely right. I'm totally ignorant of the evil eye and all of this you're telling me about. And one thing I can work out is there has to be a strong connection between religion and superstition.
Absolutely.
Because they're one and the same,
Absolutely.
basically. But yes, you believe in God, and can you say you believe in superstitions? Is that
Absolutely,
what you...
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And
You and I are best friends.
Yes, and superstition, when you're superstitious, you have your patterns. There's different things in Greek religion that don't do this that day of the week, don't do that the other day of the week.
Right.
It becomes an obsessive compulsive behavior.
Yes.
So
You ever see As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson?
Yes, exactly.
He won't step on the cracks.
Exactly.
Okay,
so,
go ahead.
So this is where everything comes in, and the universe, and the different cultures, and the different philosophies, there's a fear, there's love of God, but also there's a fear of God. And a lot of these Greek superstitions, they're starting out of fear of God.
Well, you're taught to fear God.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
guilty from birth.
Absolutely.
I mean, how
Absolutely.
insane. I mean, that's to me, that's so wrong. I mean, why would a God, beautiful God, want to make somebody feel guilty and fear?
And I will be very revealing of this. In my life of 62 years, almost 63, the most catastrophic or non-loving or horrible events happen on the 24th of a month. So when the month comes in,
no.
and it's the 24th, sometimes I forget, thank God, because nothing happens. But if I focus, oh shit, tomorrow is the 24th, I have to be careful, then shit happens. What tells you that you bring the negative energy.
Wow.
So we're intermixing not only culture, not only superstition, we're intermixing our own energy. So if I wake up tomorrow and say, oh my God, it's the 24th, horrible things are gonna happen, I'm doomed because bad things are gonna happen. So we're mixing energy, we're mixing superstition, we're mixing OCD behavior, God, and all that. And
Dimitri, you got to keep talking
and
because you're nailing so much of what is wrong.
And it's just what is wrong, because we are raised to be afraid. We're not raised. Yes, our parents loved us. We're not raised to feel like as long as I have the love of God or the love of the universe, the love of who I believe, I'll be secure, I'll be fine. We're raised to the fear of God, the fear of Allah, the fear of the universe, the fear of the military, the fear of our teachers, the fear of our girlfriends and wives. And then what we do, we hide.
The fear of death.
The fear of death, yes, the fear of death, and the fear of not making enough money, or the fear of having too much money that somebody's going to target us.
The fear of not being good enough.
And the fear of dying alone.
And the fear of dying alone. So do you understand why we're doing this show? And I can't thank you enough for that, and always being true to who you are and how you were raised and what you know, because you've talked so much about Europe. So now we're connecting a little bit of Western philosophy with European philosophy and world philosophy, because superstition, my God, we have to eliminate that. Now I can enter the arena. I'll do a little talking. I grew up athletes, actors. I grew up also in the world of music. Oh my, superstition dominates.
Yes.
And my best friend, this is a funny story, so I'll tell it for a little humor, although all of this I find funny. I find all superstitions hysterical, especially the 24th. It used to be the 13th, black cats, don't walk under a ladder, whatever the simple things are to the more complex mythical stories that, like you said, go all the way back to the Bible. They've been selling superstition, et cetera, et cetera. So Will Chamberlain, I've said it a couple of times, for the last 12 years of his life was my best friend. He's 7'1", he's black, he's one of the world's strongest athletes, okay?
He's gifted.
He's gifted, and we traveled around the country. It was called Will's Big Dippers, playing volleyball. And we brought our own referees. So it was we'd play four because we had all the best players against all the six-person college teams. And so, they're young kids. We brought our own referees, just like he played for the Globetrotters. So we never lost a match. Right, okay. So, yeah, we cheated there to eliminate, a few problems. Anyhow, I would always talk to him. He was so superstitious, he wouldn't shower. He wore his lucky shirt or his lucky pants, and you know what? After
I know
you three
exactly,
or four
yeah.
times how it smells,
It reeks.
put it in his locker, and we go, Will, we couldn't even stand
can't
beside
stand
him
you.
on the court. And we go, Will,
You can smell him from the other side of the court.
and he sweated profusely. He had a goatee. It was like putting a little hose on the end of his goatee, and the sweat would just run off him. And we said, well, no more. He wouldn't even shower. He said, you don't shower, you don't this, we walk.
We don't go out.
No, we walk. We love you, and come on. He said, well, you ain't gonna walk out on me, blah, blah, blah. That's why I loved him. But superstition to me always cracked me up. I don't know why, because I wasn't raised
because
with
it's real.
superstitions.
Because it's real.
It's so real. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here.
I told you,
I'm in
I
shock.
started from the Phoenicians, then the Greeks. It's in the religion. There's a special prayer in Greece on Vaskania, and Vaskania, the apotropaic eye. Usually, somebody looks at you with envy, not with hate, but the Greek church feels that it's the work of the devil sometimes. So it's just, it goes back into so many different ways.
But I'm learning so much. So actors, so we talked about athletes. They all wear hats that they shouldn't when they're, pitching. I was friends with Jim Palmer, 3-time Cy Young, and I was a great pitcher. I'm telling you, if I'd stayed healthy, sorry, Jim, nothing personal, but I could have won 4 Cy Youngs. And I was a switch hitter. Otani, I love him. My batting average, I told him on one show, was 800 when I was in Little
Holy
League.
shit.
800, 796. Somebody called me for the Palisades Post. So if somebody took me at 13, listen, I'm only telling a story because I had to lose my ego. I had to realize how lucky I was just to get back to have a career in volleyball because I never got surgery since you're a doctor. But let's get back to actors. So all the actors that were friends of mine, top actors and all stuff. In fact, Stallone had, his mother, astrology. So I'm sure on certain days and certain this, he couldn't do,
couldn't
this
do shit.
said
He
he
had to
couldn't
stay in the
sign
house.
a movie.
Yep.
Mom said this and mom said that. Okay, Frank, who I dearly love. I love the guys anyhow. So these actors, they'd say, yeah, well, I'm up for this. I got a third callback for this big movie. If I get this, it's going to change my career. And I started to talk about it more, and they go, don't talk about it, and don't tell anybody. And I go, well, why? They go, you'll bring me bad luck. They were that superstitious.
But I'll tell you where I think this behavior starts. It's not random. Yes, it's your family, it's your religion. It's that you have a day that beautiful and positive thing happens to you. And as a human being, you're thinking, okay, you remember, you register in your brain, I'm wearing these shoes, I'm wearing this t-shirt, I'm in this environment, I'm with this girl, I'm at that place.
Yes.
And then as life is, and life goes up and down, there's an event which is catastrophic or not so pleasant, and you're in a different outfit, you're in a different place. Mm-hmm. And as a human being, you wanna subconsciously give a reason to your problems or to your success. And you say, I'm worthy for the best, but the reason I failed that day or I got sick that day or that happened is because I was wearing this or I was doing this and I was doing that. And it's human primitive behavior that you say, you know what? I'm just not going to be in the same environment. It's like being a child and walking around and touching the top of the stove. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to touch this again.
Well, you just used the word primitive.
Yes.
So what we're trying to do, humor, my friend John Dubin said, humor is the absence of fear. This is why laughter is so important. Comic sense is more important than common sense. Because superstition and all this stuff, they'd actually put under common sense, which is frightening to me. But you know what I love about you? And you obviously love it about me, because I'm sitting here laughing at your beliefs. Your beliefs. But I'm not laughing to put you down or offend you. I'm laughing because I'm completely like an idiot.
Astonished,
I'm naive.
Yep.
I'm naive to it. and I would never hold it against you.
But would you?
Well, Wilt, I only held it against him because he stinks. And I said, Wilt, I love you, but we can't, what do you want us to do? We can't stand beside you. Take that stinking, stiff shirt from sweat off your body and take a friggin' shower. This is how athletes do. You have to talk the truth. We don't have time. The team concept means you got to kick some butt. You got to tell them the truth.
I think the subject of superstition should be a 2 or 3 episode subject because there's so much.
No, I couldn't agree more. This has opened my eyes, and it scares me simultaneously.
Well, absolutely, because it feeds on fear. I told you, since we were young kids, you do this prayer, you don't do this prayer, you pray to God. Even I'm not supposed to. Masturbation was off limits. You're not supposed to do that.
Right. It's taboo.
In every religion.
It's taboo.
So
and what does comedy and humor do? We have to talk and break through every taboo. Comic Minds, I read on this last show, Don't Call Me Stupid, I did with Tony a few days ago. So we're going to stay on these subjects.
The superstition, it's a long subject.
Well, S and S.
Because it affects, I'm sorry to interrupt you, it affects
No, you didn't interrupt me.
It affects human behavior in a very profound way.
To be continued. Stay human, keep the change.
I don't laugh because life is easy. I laugh because I see the mind can sell you stories, then charge you rent to be free. They call it normal to panic, to worship the loudest fear. But a thought becomes a prison the moment you hold it near. So I ask one honest question, not to win, just to wake. Is this truth I'm believing, or just memory and ache? I use humor like a flashlight in a room full of certain lies. Comic sense isn't comedy, it's sight with a smile in its eyes. Critical thinking is mercy, consciousness is breath and release. If you can laugh at the story, you can finally step into peace. Sometimes I'm quiet and listening to a child asking, is love safe? I don't fix him with answers, I stay and give him space. So laugh, not to escape, but to see what's always been true. Nothing real is against you, and life is quietly loving you. Does my smile confuse you, or remind you you're here? Does my smile confuse